like it says in the movie Moana. And actually, you know what? Just for the fun of it, I think we're going to do like a breakdown on one or two of those songs from that movie. Okay. So again, Kokabel. Okay. I'm trying to see which ones have. Most of them have AL or EL. Okay, at the end of them, but the constellations, Ezekiel, um, the knowledge of the clouds again. And when we're talking about clouds, let's just think about clouds, right? Let's think about like clouded judgment. Let's also think about cloud seeding when it comes to HARP or weather modification. And then also let's think of it when it comes to the weathering of the mind, right? And let's think about it when we're talking about different kind of clouds that we use, like iCloud and clouds and things of that nature. Okay, just saying, because it's past, present, and future, and it's dealing with the spiritual law and well, I guess the worldly. Okay, because we're on a level, we're in a time when I feel like these things are in alien or foreign, right? So everything is running kind of like on a parallel. But again, once you get that, the whole thing of going up, we look up in the sky for heaven, and I feel like what we need to be doing is using that eye that I have, and some of you have, that is in your temple, which is the mind. Okay? So, again, even these things about teaching things that are of heaven, which heaven, right? Like, would that be teaching the things of which people are seeing in their mind? Would this be teaching the things which people see in that are hidden in this worldly realm in that particular heaven? When it comes to governing forces and entertainment and any other kind of, when it comes to merchants and, what I'm saying, any type of thing like this. And then that all-seeing eye, is talking about all things. And so in this chapter, it's talking about the one who sees all. So it's just, very eye-opening, I guess, to say the most. It's almost like the other day, I think some of this is said in order to stop people that have these visions, because the more you speak, the more people can see like the sincerity and the truth, right? So I think that's a lot of reason why some of us are having our platforms at this time. Someone's rushing because they have a little time. So again, it's very funny how there's so many restrictions now, especially on my platforms, when I haven't really been bothered really that much in the past couple of weeks, because again, I don't think that people want to actually have people hear what I have to say, but they will hear it either way, because now we're tapping into a different way of transmitting or transferring information. And again, okay, so it says, and then Arakel, the signs of the earth. Okay, so again, somebody is showing the signs of the earth. Okay. Okay, so again, when it comes to sign, it's saying early 13th century, a gesture of motion of the hand. Okay, especially one meant to communicate something. Okay, so again, signs and symbols run the world. Sign, mark. Okay, identifying mark, a token, indication, symbol, proof, a military standard, and sign, a signal, an omen, a sign in the heavens or constellations. Again, when it comes to those constellations, we think outwardly, but again, there's that same, whatever is out there is actually within. Okay, and again, you can be, I feel like some people are conductors of these things. Again, I'm trying to just speak it, but in layman's terms, but so you can just really see. Okay. So it says, according to Watkins, literally standard that one follows. Okay, a standard that somebody follows. And again, to cut. Okay, to cut. Semantic. What is cut out or carved out? So again, like, I mean, you might have a piece of wood there, right? When somebody's even carving something, how, some of the ancestors used to do. It starts off with a big block of wood or whatever, or it's just a block of wood or wood, right? Okay. But then they carve it and fashion it and make it look a certain way to be appealing to the people, so that then they will go and then worship that energy or entity other than the other one. And what I feel has been happening is in the heavens on this realm, because of the things that I have taught, the things that they may not even believe that some people are able to see, and the way we're speaking of it just in the general information, again, for entertainment purposes only, fair use. Okay. I think that what happened is that might have made some people afraid of what a God would be doing, if they thought in that manner, right? So the thing was to then war against God in that sense. Again, it's just to see it and to see it playing out is something totally, it's just, again, okay? So to say not to speak of those things, well, again, if men is not going to be able to live on bread alone, and this entity, this woman, again, which would be sired or mounted by God, okay? Even if I'm going to show you guys another image of this Hathor energy, or this another image of Hathor, and with that brain scan. And at one point there is serpents in that crown, or around, on top, in that temple that's on top of her head. But then at one time, I don't know why that image stood out to me the other day, and I just saved it of her standing there, and at this point there was only one serpent left with the sun on its head that was in the dwelling. And I was just wondering, okay. So again, even if like it was a call out to that other energy, as far as what the hell have you been doing? You see, like the energy, I feel like, oh, so you stretched out the heavens in a sense. And if someone's stretching out the heavens, right, that other counterpart of that particular God energy, that masculine and feminine in appearance, I feel there's going to be a male and a female, okay, that are that paramount couple, okay? And so again, the cries up to heaven that I feel we're going to talk about in a second is just seeing the fact that someone has, again, taken from the temple of, Isis or Esther or Sekhmet, or just any of these other energies that have come. And not to say that it hasn't been done to the male energies as well. I can just only speak on what I've not channeled but seen as a seer, okay? Standing in that energy, which I would say would be a energy of a god or goddess. And I feel, though, that the male counterpart may not be able to speak as though, because they may be in the heavens, right? The earth is on the earth. She's always been on the earth. She's always been the one to have to be here and go through all the changes until she wails, right? Okay? Or she speaks to the heavens in a certain manner or fashion, and then people pay attention. And then I feel like that's when all the chaos and things like that started or starts, right? We're talking even the breath of God, even in a sense, right? Okay, so again, I feel like this is to cut. So anyways, when it's talking about to cut, we're just thinking, is this again to cut something off, or cut someone off, or mark them as something, so that then they can portray things and they can override the energy as a whole, because again, they feel like they have the power to block voices and oppress messages, and they have the power to hide and throw dirt on the name of God or his children or the Holy One or the Chosen One or Israel. So again, it's the same thing over and over again. This would be a different energy, a different God energy. It's not the all. It's not that was there in the beginning or prior to the beginning, right? Okay. Pre-Genesis, pre-colonial, right? Okay. So again, signs of times. Okay, a mark or a device having some special importance. Okay, so again, characteristics, device attached to the front of an inn or a shop. Now, see, look at that. Look at that. Remember the whole thing what we've been looking at these ancient images with these goddesses with these things on top of their heads? That would be an inn. You see what I'm saying? That would be a dwelling of God, right? In a sense, okay? And so everybody would want to rush in, fools rush in, right? To then go ahead and try to use man's, again, and I will say that, by some of this could be by the hand of a particular God, right? But when it says to stretch out, I feel like it's talking about us stretching out like a scroll, showing what was going on in the heavens on earth here, okay? We're talking about the pyramid structure of the caste system or the class, okay? The different classes. So I think that, again, what we were doing was spreading that open within the past couple of years. And again, it just seemed like, oh, and then you know what came, right? And then now they want to then give you something, an antidote, we'll call it here. That again, it seems as though now that people have not been subdued to a certain manner before we remember who we are, okay, there is a variant or something being that is growing, or a nothing, I call it, like the never ending story. That is, again, moving throughout. And these different variants is for different areas, and it's for different types of beings, because we are the same, but again, we are not. There are different creator gods that have created on this plane throughout the test of time. Okay? AI and all. Even you think about Adonai, AI is at the end. It mentions AI in the text. Do we know what that is all the way fully? You know what I'm saying? That's up for you to discern. Again, just like El, these names here with El. So these are angels of El, right? But again, if we're talking about is, I am, I is, then again, that would be prior to. Even if we're talking about Isis, that is prior to. Okay, Ma'at, that's talking about law and order in the court. So again, do you see how this moves? Okay, and then you have Ra, okay? Because again, after the so-called 18th dynasty, I say it's the 1800s or so, 1800, 18th century or whatever. Again, that's up for you to discern. These are just theoretical, but not approach to speak what we would call somewhat truth. Okay. Closest to it we can get, right? Okay. So again, it's funny that these entities came up against the earth, and they have this L, and that will be the children, right? Those are the children. Well, anyway, when it comes to wisdom, okay, when it comes to the earth, all of these people are the children of. So again, this is someone this is a culture or a group. In some cases, I think there are some there that are not to do this, and then there are some very well, okay? The ones that are laying down lies or laws, right? In a sense, right? I think that they would rather not see it, but I can see the change in the motion of the acts of these people as we are moving forward with this type of information. The energy shifts. Everything is just becoming very clear, okay? And so again, that is a problem, because then I think it was talking about something about what's going to happen to the earth, the calamity that's going to come up on the earth. And then if we think about that, I wonder who these people are that they want to hurry up and get this into, this antidote. Because again, that you will maybe gain something. I'm not telling you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just simply sharing what it looks like to me. You may gain something. Okay, this may be again a certain God coming in order to again give something that, because of something that's going to be occurring soon, is going to give people some type of everlasting life. I'm not here to tell you if it is or not. Okay, but I also think that it's also to alter. Because these altars that we're talking about in the biblical text are not always talking about some building that they building out there. They give you that perception by giving you images, which they're not even supposed to give you images of that which is in heaven. Well, it did, in the Bible it says, it doesn't say anything I don't recall about speaking on things that is in heaven, right? But in Enoch, it's actually saying, talking about these things that are in heaven, but I think it's in a way where they're dabbling into the being or the energy of the earth and showing things that they have no business showing. But one of these gods, I feel like, think that they do. So again, you stretched out. It's almost like, because in the Apocrypha, it says wisdom was there, in the beginning, or when God stretched these things out. So, don't do that. So if you can imagine, they done brought the baby in here. I lost my train of thought. No, baby. Okay. Yeah, to stretch out heaven. But then again, like I said, when it comes to the crying of the earth to the heavens, that is us speaking the things that we have been speaking and exposing certain things. I think it is dealing with exposure. Okay, and that's what got us in trouble and got us on punishment all this time. Okay. Until now, the whole thing is to then now the antidote. Okay. And again, like I said, just for whatever purposes, I'm not telling you what it is or what it ain't. Okay? But I know somebody wants you to have it for some reason. Okay? And this says, if you study these type of things over time, they just repeat themselves. Okay? So again, sign, to make a sign of cross. Okay? So again, we're not going to look at all of the whole thing. A divining mark. Again, to communicate by hand signs. Okay? So again, same thing that we are looking at or pointing out. Okay? A public display of a message. Okay? So again, these are signs as well, right? Okay? So what we're doing, these are signs of the times. But these people want to tap in and see them ahead of time so that they can prepare. But again, learning how to try to block out certain energy that is not benefiting is something that, again, I feel people may be able to do. I don't know. Okay, so let's keep going. So it's almost like if there was a Father God, right? Or Father Time, right? Or, you know what I'm saying? That's operating some way. It's still like a way of operating with the, no. When it comes to that particular woman being rained on, and in a sense, what would have had her out of control other than her children being in danger? And so it is like something, I don't know. Okay? And that's all of them. See? And it feels like there's a form of reprimanding. Oh, stooch. No, the J. No. I don't know how I got put on duty. Okay. No, baby. Dudgy, no. Okay, and then Shamsael, the signs of the sun. Okay. So again, somebody is doing the signs of the earth and somebody is dealing with the signs of the sun. So again, even when we're talking about Adam and Eve and we go back and they knew that they were naked, this means bare or unprotected or exposed, right? Okay, so again, this is some form, I feel like this is some form of, we're dealing with particular gods here, and that battle is theirs, but it's affecting the children, the different variants or different groups of the children, even demigods or those children of those who are of the fallen or the watchers, right? And then these people, which are these beings, which are supposedly have something to do with the biblical text and this, right? This book of Enoch. I don't know. You just have to think about that in a certain manner, as if they're saying that the fallen ones are the ones that did some of this stuff or wrote some of this stuff. And so that's why I'm saying about discerning this and asking for a clear judgment or clairvoyance when we're looking through this text. Okay, so again, they want to know the markings, the ways of the sun and the earth, So again, these particular ones would be affected in that light. So when we're talking about this whole thing about divine masculine and feminine and that energy when it comes to readers and seers, it's a serious thing because we're talking about that divine couple that would be being persecuted or treated in a certain fashion because of something in that times. And it might be like an invasive or like because of an invasion of some sorts, right? Okay. I mean, it's just my opinion. Okay. And it says in Sariel, the course of the moon. Okay. Okay. So again, we're talking about the sun, moon, and the earth and how I feel that's symbolic to certain individuals or entities on this plane right now. Okay. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Okay. And again, I just hope that nobody's really perishing at this point. I never know if we're feeling like we're in that energy right this moment, if it already happened or whatever, until like the time goes by, and then I start getting different, visions or whatever. Okay. And I'm going to use those cliche terms from now on here, because people like to take something and run with it and try to turn you crazy. So we're just going to use those terms because when people say God told me a dream last night or God did this and that, people just rush to that information. But, when we speaking of it like this, again, they don't, something don't want the cat out the bag. That certain people have these kind of qualities or gifts. Okay. And so, no, baby. Here. She is tripping. No, DJ. Okay. So they start to cry from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth. Okay. So again, this is almost like I'm just saying something has happened and some kind of shift and something is going on here, okay? And I feel the energy of like, energy saying, I don't want to go or I don't want to, perish or something like this. And it's almost like, damn, I just, how people say you should second guess things that you say and do when it comes to, but then I'm just thinking that same thing, like, because like if we just if we should just keep it real from the beginning, none of these things nobody would have to, it's just a very odd situation to be in. Okay. So much blood shed upon the earth and all lawlessness. No, baby. Being wrought upon the earth. So again, this whole thing about like, even like I'm saying, this lawlessness, this race to get to something, this race to, I can only speak on my situation. And I can totally sense and see it and feel it. And I know it. I see it. Like, I just feel these things and they just come from a mile away. And, this is to let people know that I know. And I'm not saying any of this stuff is factual. All I'm saying, and I don't want to even think that, want you to think that I want you to think what I think. I just, like I said, want people to think. Okay? Wake, realize, and rise up out of it. Or ascend. And they said one to another, the earth made plus without inhabitants cries the voice of their crying up to the heaven's gates. Okay? Okay, so even like I would consider this something like the video we did the other day about the guns or whatever and the violence. You see what I'm saying? We'll just leave it there. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven. Hold on, I'm sorry. Or my fault. Okay, because again, I do feel like there are holy ones in the heavens as well as the earth. Okay, fowl of the air, beast of the field. The souls of men make their suit, saying, "Bring our case before the Most High." And they said to the Lord of ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all generations of ages, and thy holy name and glorious and blessed upon all ages. Thou hast made all things, and the power over all things thou hast, and all things are naked. Okay, so again, exposed again. It's, you know what? This is kind of like, and I'm seeing this energy. I'm definitely seeing this energy. This is the energy I'm seeing. And I guess I wonder why it's time. I don't know. I don't know why sometimes I get called to, you see? But I feel like it's always some kind of setup. Like there's a jokester or there's some kind of energy that is trying to, again, take the information and chop it up to look as though it's somebody that is not, and then again, or make it, or even an energy that's trying to protect that which would be the earth, right? There's also that energy. I have to be fair. I feel like there's an energy that wants to protect the earth, and that's why they're afraid for this stuff to come out, because they know that, once somebody knows who the holy ones are, that they will be targets. And so that's what I'm saying about not being able to share information and things like this. We're dealing with time lapses. We're dealing with time travel, the halting or father time. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that some of these energies might be a couple of days ahead of even what we are doing. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just something, it's things that's going on. And again, you would have to be experiencing these things to know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So again, all things are naked upon thy sight. So again, if we think about this, I feel like too that when it comes to the all